Let me make sure that I feel like I need like what's them little things called? Like a soundboard or something. I feel like I need a soundboard or something. But let me make sure that I'm live everywhere. Okay, so I'm live on Twitter. Am I live?
Pull up all the things so I can see the comments and when they pop up.
Of course. Yeah, I'm live on Facebook. Twitch. Let's check Twitch. Because Twitch been so bootleg. Okay, I see people are actually here in the stream. People are actually here in the stream. So that's a good sign. That means that people are here. What's up, everybody who are watching us right now? If you're watching on Twitch, please let me know. Because Twitch been acting kind of bootleg here lately. So, Twitch was acting hella bootleg for me yesterday. Like, for some reason, Twitch was just like, oh, you streaming? Like, what that mean? Right. So I'm looking at my Twitch right now, and the stream is not.
Oh, I think that's what Twitch got DDoS yesterday along with T-Mobile.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, it looks like I'm live, but not really. Like, I'm looking at my Twitch right now. It says a recent broadcast. Like, I don't know.
I don't see you live either.
It says a recent broadcast, but it doesn't say that I'm live.
No, I gotta add real quick, and then I'll let you know. You know, I hate the fact that Amazon still put ads on Twitch even if you have Prime.
They do, don't they? I never thought about that. Like, if I have Twitch Prime, like, you shouldn't be showing me no ads, fam. Like, get that off of my page.
No, it's showing up fine for me.
On Twitch?
Yeah.
Okay,
What's
so...
good, Sinister?
Yo, I see Sinister's in here. Alright, so I guess everything is working. I don't know. Sometimes Twitch be tripping. Because I know most of the people watch me on YouTube and Twitch, so... But, so we're just gonna go ahead and get into it.
Okay.
So, this is me and Jerome show, Teachers in Quarantine. So, if you...
We're about to be in quarantine again.
Huh?
So we're about to be in quarantine again.
Listen. Ooh, we're gonna have to talk about that, too. So, like, okay. So, this is our show, Teachers in Quarantine. So those of you guys who don't know what Teachers in Quarantine is, if you missed our first episode 2 weeks ago, Teachers in Quarantine is going to be a teacher-centric / lifestyle type of podcast featuring myself and my friend Jerome. So I'm going to go ahead and let him reintroduce himself to those of you guys who are new. Rom, go ahead and introduce yourself, and since you are part of the one half of this podcast, so I'll let you do that.
I'm Jerome. Some of you might know me through social media. Sax Rebel HD is my YouTube, and when I used to really do YouTube stuff. If you follow me on Twitter and stuff, it's Bald and Bougie. So if you've seen me on there, musician, obviously, cat dad, second, obviously, and real dad, too.
Hashtag cat dad. Oh yeah, and you're a real dad. How could we forget about Chase? Well, I didn't. You did it, but I for like 2 seconds. Sorry, Chase. I love you.
One half of this podcast and music teacher. So happy to be a part again. Well, of course, we'll be a part every time, hopefully.
Of course.
So glad to be here again for round 2. It took a few days for us to get here because we kept missing each other. Well, I kept missing her. It was my fault.
Because Jerome has a life, so unfortunately, when one of us has life, that means the other one of us is on hold until their life has paused for the other person. But it's all good.
We were socially distant, and we had less than 10 people in our gathering. Okay. So
love it.
You want to know what I did? I went to a Scotch
yes
from my fraternity brothers.
That is so bougie. I love it.
I guess that segued into like our good things topic.
I love it.
We did a Scotch tasting, and we just did it just together with just us. We didn't like go anywhere fancy. So what he did is that, and I'll show you the pictures, Mia. he basically kind of got like this table out where he lives, and then he put we brought food, everybody brought a dish. He had like these 6 different types of scotches, and he had like a card with like the facts about it.
Yeah.
He talked about scotch and how the scotch is made, and it was actually educational.
Right.
Which makes sense because I didn't know he was a teacher at one point in time. He doesn't teach now, but he was a teacher, which is big. And so like we learned some stuff about how scotch is made, different types of scotches, and he didn't give us a lot. He gave us like maybe 2 ounces of each one, so we didn't get like too tore up.
Yeah.
But I did learn like about scotches, and there's some what makes them better than others, and I did find a scotch I liked, and I'm gonna go to the store and buy it. And like the way he described it is like something that you don't like drink scotch like you would as a college student or whatever. Like you don't just go balls to the wall and like just throw back.
Yeah.
It's kind of sophisticated. And when he described it as and what he described it is basically like he said scotch. Hey Kat. He said scotch is basically like one of those businessman drinks. It's something they would drink all the time, like in the office or in the happy hours. But you wouldn't get drunk afterwards.
Right.
Or you wouldn't have a hangover, So he was like, business people like to drink scotch because of that. Like, they'll drink it, and the next morning they'll get up and go to work.
Yeah.
So that was the cool thing about it. Like, you drink it. You only drink like 2 ounces of it. You kind of sip on it. And it's like kind of cool drink.
Right.
So I did learn something about it. And I think we're going to do more stuff like that. We're going to have like a tequila tasting and like vodka tasting.
Man, that is so bougie. Like when he told me, he was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we can't do the show tonight because I just got back from this scotch tasting." I'm like, "Scotch tasting? That is so bougie," but I love it. It means that we getting grown in this world. Oh my God.
I've been adulting all this week so far.
Yes.
I'm starting to feel like a big kid now.
Yo, I feel it. Like, I feel like maybe it's because me and Jerome, like, we've known each other for so many years. Like, yeah. I knew Jerome, like, when you were, like, a freshman, sophomore in college?
Yes. I think I was my sophomore year, 2012.
Right, like, so you were, like, a very young person, and I was a spring chick, and I was in my 20s, you feel me? So, like, we have really just grown as people. It's crazy. Yeah. But, anyway, so since, we try to keep this topic on brand, so the first thing that we normally do for Teachers in Quarantine is we start our podcast with good things. So good things are just talking about, just positive things that are going on in our lives. We know it's been difficult here lately to have good things to talk about, but, I feel like in order to keep yourself afloat, you have to try to find the silver lining in your life. So, since Rome has already finished, I don't know if that's your good thing. No, that's not your good thing. Ooh, he got a good thing. Ooh, he's got a good thing. So, I guess we could go ahead and start with good things. So, for me, my good thing is that I guess it kind of ties into another topic, but I'm going on a trip this week. Ooh. I'm really excited about it because of everything going on with COVID. Like, I've been out of my freaking mind, yo. Like, I've been needing to get out of the house, and then everything going on in the world with current events and stuff. Like, it's just, I have not been 100% okay, and I think that's one of the things that we talked about last podcast is just trying to be okay in this crazy time. And I'm feeling like maybe this trip is actually going to really help me a lot. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it because, like I said, it does tie into one of our topics. But my good things, I'm going somewhere finally. I've been cooped in the house since, March? So I'm really excited, even though Texas is having another resurgence, which Jerome kind of mentioned. We kind of having another resurgence of COVID. But my family is going to be doing this in a very safe manner because we're going to an isolated type of place. But like I said, we'll talk about that when we talk about our next topic. So I'm going to let Rome talk about his good thing because, whoop, whoop, I'm really excited for my friend.
All right, so I think I talked about this in our first one that I'm going to a new school. and naturally that means to relocate. Um, and that is a good thing, right? Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a good thing for you because you'll say why.
And it's important because, and I guess this kind of goes into one of a different topic, is I want to live close to where I teach at, and I think that's important to live in those areas. And we'll talk about that maybe a little bit later. I think that's part of that a later topic.
Right.
So I haven't
so
exactly
cryptic this
where.
podcast already, right? Like we're already so cryptic. Like we'll get there. We promise.
But it's always, to me, it's always exciting to move. I've moved. Hopefully, I don't have to move too many more times. But I always like going to see different places and houses and apartments. I think it's fun. And it moves into me going into my new school, which I'm already excited about. I was telling Nia this earlier. I've been in business meetings already, and I haven't even gotten a check yet.
Oh, it is so serious.
And I always, being a high school director is like, you're a brand leader. You are a businessman, and I'm handling that business. I've been having meetings today. I got some meetings next week with people who want to sponsor the program and who want to donate. With students who are interested in being in band, and teachers who are like, hey, can you talk to my student about being in band? So all of that stuff is really cool. Moving, again, going back to moving is going to be fun because I get to be near my family again, because I'm a little bit away from my family. I get to be close to my son, which I really want to be close to my son, especially he's getting older. He wants to do more things.
Right.
So I think that's kind of the main things. And hopefully relocating means I'm close to buying a house, which is another thing. That goes into it.
Yes.
I did spend my last day in my classroom today, or probably one of the last days.
Yeah.
I packed up everything. I took everything out. I left a lot of stuff in my classroom. I took some things, but I left a lot of things. And I took some last pictures of my empty room. And then I have some before pictures I took when I first got there. So it's a little bittersweet. I told my kids, I let them know, and this is something I'll add to that, my good things. I let my kids know I wasn't coming back. And they didn't take it, they took it differently than I thought they would. I thought that being, that we were online and we were distant, they were like, okay, whatever. But no, they like, Mr. Queen, no.
Yeah.
Why are you leaving us? And da-da-da. And they were like, one of my kids they said it jokingly.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, we're gonna start a riot. And I was like,
yeah.
I taught y'all better than that. We don't riot, we protest. Now I didn't say what protests you had to do.
Right.
What kind of protest, but we protest.
Right. But that means that your kids, they really love and respect you.
Yeah, they do. They get on my nerves, every last one of them. And it's funny because the ones that took it the hardest were the worst ones.
Oh, wow. It's always like that.
It's always the bad ones.
It's always like
I got
that.
one kid, I don't even have to look in her direction. Like, I would be in class, I could be facing the whiteboard and away from it, and I'm like, hey, go sit down. And she'd be like, how did he know? He's not even looking this way. Because I know you.
Because I know you.
And she was one of the kids that she was one of the kids that took it the hardest. I have kids that who started bawling, crying, and their parents like email me like, "Oh, my child is so sad." So it makes me happy to know I had an impact. Then another good thing to go with that, and this is my last good thing, is that we did find a replacement.
Oh, nice.
And it was someone that I was able to recommend, which made me happy. Because I feel like as someone who's leaving and not leaving for bad reasons, a place, you want to put someone in your place that cares about students.
Right.
And I'm glad that my principal trusted me enough to take a recommendation I gave her.
Oh, very cool. See, I didn't know that part.
Yeah, I gave her a recommendation. I posted it on my Facebook page, actually. I posted it
Oh, I saw that. I didn't read a lot into it, but I did see that.
Yeah, I posted in my college group and was like, hey, if anyone knows somebody, because that's how I got my first job. Someone knew somebody that knew, and I wanted to pass that on. I was like, hey, I'm leaving. Anybody that wants a job, I'll give you a good recommendation. I'll refer you to my principal. Hopefully she'll reach out to you. And only one person reached out to me, and she was lucky enough that the principal enjoyed talking to her.
Right.
And she enjoyed the principal, and so she accepted the position. And so I'm happy that someone is there that likes, that wants to teach and wants to be around that group and those kids.
Right.
Sometimes, and this will be a topic for another podcast, people take these jobs
and they don't really
care for the kids, and they don't care. They just care for the check.
Right.
And they do the minimum possible.
Oh my God, yes. That's definitely gonna have to be a topic one of these good days.
I know we talked about that the last time. It's gonna be a topic.
I think
teachers don't like their job.
Right. One of the things that I found about your news really interesting, I didn't realize, like, I knew that being a band director was like a lot of work, but I didn't realize even at the, I guess I can say that I didn't realize how serious it was even at the high school level. Like, how much, like, goes into that, and, like, the fact that you're having all these meetings, and it's just, like, they really take it serious even at the high school level. Like, I really thought that was kind of reserved for, like, the college level, but I guess at the same time, like, I had a friend, like, a really good friend that I went to high school with, and she was in marching band, and they were always on point, so I knew the kids were really busting their butts, to make sure that they have, like, a good show and that their presentation and everything was on point, but I guess I just never really thought about it from the teacher's angle, like, how that affects you as the band instructor, so that's crazy.
We're like, I would say we're probably one of the closest things to a coach, an athletic coach that you can get.
Right.
Because we spend a lot of time with the students, we have to motivate them and gear them and prepare them for competition, and we're brand leaders, brand ambassadors. We have to, move the program forward.
Right.
The thing is,
that's
a lot of people
true.
don't think like that.
That's true. I never thought about it like that neither.
Band is a very expensive undertaking because instruments cost money.
Right.
To travel with those kids with instruments costs a lot of money. A football team is 52, I forgot. It's 50 something, like, players on a football team usually.
Right.
You always know you're taking that many, but, in a band, you could be taking 40 one year and 120 the next year, to know how the program grows and goes. And then
I never thought about it like that.
And maintenance is all a part of that thing. And so that's why you'll see people want to support bands, but it's really hard because it can be expensive.
Right.
And it's expensive, and then you don't have the turnout you want. So it's that weird dichotomy, like, yes, they're very important, but money. Right. Is the behind-the-scenes work that you don't see. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing.
I never thought about it like that.
This is probably just the beginning, because I still got a lot of people to call and talk to.
Ooh.
And so,
yeah,
you guys will be hearing about it, definitely.
Oh my goodness. I mean, like, it's not like, trying to make you feel like, oh, that's a lot of work. It's like, that's what you want to do, but, like, I just never really, like, I knew how much work, like, from, I guess because I was an athlete in school, so I saw, like, my coaches grinding and all this kind of stuff that they had to do, but I guess I just never really looked at it like, oh, it's the same thing with band, because what we were doing as athletes and what y'all were doing in band is pretty much two sides of the same coin, especially when you thinking about how much the freaking school districts usually put in, especially in Texas, football. What? It's serious.
Texas is a big band state too.
Yeah, it's serious. So that's crazy. All right, so Jerome has said his good things. Congrats to Jerome. Yay! So, he's going to be moving schools, moving districts, and I'm really happy for you. I'm really happy that you were able to get that opportunity. I know that's something that you really, really wanted to do. Yep. So, I know you gonna slam dunk it, okay? Like, I know you will, because your head is already there. And I wish you the best of luck, and listen, I don't understand everything that you go through since I'm just a little lowly kindergarten teacher. But, I'm here if you need to vent about teacher things, because trust me, I do understand teacher things, okay? I get it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move into our next topic. So, what was our next topic? Was it end of the year takeaways, right? Wait.
New grade level.
New grade level. Okay. Yes. Because you're moving to a new grade level, right? Because, like, you'll be going from middle school to high school. So, I guess I'll go ahead and start since you've already said your piece. So, moving grade levels and how that has affected us in our careers. So
Are you moving again, or I'm sorry. Before are you moving again? Or are you staying at kindergarten?
I am staying in kindergarten. Thank God. I did not have to move classrooms this year. I did not have to move grade levels this year. I am so blessed and thankful for that because that was so, like, I'm not gonna lie, because to those of you guys who don't know, this is Teachers in Quarantine. This is our teacher / lifestyle show. So, we talk about teaching, we talk about things that are going on in life. So to those of you guys who know me from the gaming side, but you don't really listen in on TIQ, I'm a teacher and I teach kindergarten. So last year, before I taught kindergarten, I did teach second grade, and I really, really, really loved second grade. So just to let you guys also know, I am still a rookie teacher. I am going upon my 3rd year as a teacher, but 4th year technically in education as, a higher up. Because before I was a teacher, I was a reading specialist. So anyway, so when I first came into teaching, my first teaching job was teaching second grade. And so, teaching second grade was awesome because I felt like the kids, they understood more. The content areas that you were able to go into with second graders were a lot more advanced because they did understand more. And then, we were getting closer to the end of the year. And then my principal told me, oh, yeah, by the way, we're moving you to kindergarten. And I was just like, I don't want to go to kindergarten. I dreaded going to kindergarten. I did not want to teach. I'm so serious. I did not want to teach kindergarten at all. So, when she told me that I was going to teach kindergarten, I was devastated because, second grade was my first literally foray into teaching. I had already gotten accustomed to that grade level. I was attached to my team, which I really shouldn't have been, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole other day. Because my team this year, baby. Okay? So anyway. So, when I told my students in second grade that I was going to be switching to kindergarten, and I wasn't even moving schools, I was literally just moving floors. So, in my school, kindergarten through pre-K through first grade is on the first level, and then on the second level, that's second, third, and fourth. So, when I broke the news to my students that I was going to be moving from second grade into kindergarten, they were devastated. My kids pretty much responded in the same way that you responded, that your kids responded. Yeah, they did not want me to go. And I'm like, yo, you're not even going to be in second grade next year. But they understood that even if I wasn't going to be teaching second grade next year, that they wouldn't be able to see me because I wouldn't be on the same, floor. So they wouldn't be able to at least, stop by and say hi as they're moving on to their third grade classes and stuff. Yeah. And so, like you said, even my kids, they were just I'm not going to say horrible, because I feel like every child has a reason for everything. It's either their background or something going on with them that they don't really necessarily have the mental capacity to process. But my quote-unquote bad kids were like, no, you're not leaving. One of my kids that I had been struggling with for that whole semester was like, you not leaving. If you go, I'm going to pull you out that classroom and I'm going to bring you back up here to the second floor. I was like, yo, you go what? He was so serious. You're not going to kindergarten. No, you're not. No, you're not. But anyway, when I eventually did settle on over to kindergarten, I loved it. I'm not going to lie. It took me maybe 3 months to, get acclimated to my new grade level, get acclimated to the way that my kindergarten kids understood content. And I'm not gonna lie, it was hard at first. It was hard at first because you're going from second grade where the kids understood things. They knew basic speech, they knew basic language, they knew basic writing skills, to little babies who are literally like a blank slate. And when I had to process that, it really was just oh my God, I am literally working with a blank slate. These kids they know nothing when they come to you. Well, the ones who didn't go to pre-K, the ones who did go to pre-K, they do come to you with some type of skills and knowledge. But to the babies where this is like literally their first time going to school ever. Oh my God, it's hard. And then in the beginning, you know, you got screaming, crying kids because they missed their mom and their dad. And it's just, it was really hard. But, you know, I really adapted. I got used to that age level. And it got to a point to where I really started to get my groove. And then the fact that my kindergarten team was so much more cooperative, so much more kind, so much more loving than my second grade team made it even easier. Like, that transition was even easier because I had people on my team that actually worked together. Unlike second grade, when I was teaching second grade, I was solo dolo. Solo dolo. Like, imagine being a new teacher, like a first year teacher, a baby in the teaching game, and being on your own for literally everything from lesson planning to preparation. Like, I was so overwhelmed that year. But anyway, I love kindergarten now. I love my team. I don't want to move anymore. Like, I was hoping that my principal wasn't gonna be like, "Oh yeah, we're short in first grade." So, because people don't realize that actually happens a lot in public school. Yeah. People get moved around all the time in public school. Like, I remember last year when I started my first year at my school teaching second grade, there was a teacher who came in to teach first grade. And she was excited. She had her room all set up. And, like, literally, like, a couple of days before school actually started, she got moved to a whole other campus. She was devastated. And I was just like, I could not imagine going through that. But I'm pretty sure, do you have to worry about that kind of stuff, considering that you are a specialized teacher? I don't know if y'all really have to worry about that so much.
Yes and no. So, we usually don't have to, depending on your position, and it depends on the district. So, every district handles the arts very different.
Right.
Some districts are more supportive than others. My district here that I am leaving was really supportive. I wouldn't, probably wherever I go, as long as I'm teaching band, I won't have to move rooms.
Right.
Because the band room is the only room where you can kind of do that kind of teaching. Usually it's built for teaching, you know, music. So I don't have to change rooms. And because you're usually the only person at your school, they won't, like, really switch you to a different school. Right. Now, and the district I'm going to is a bit different because the art support isn't nearly as good as the district I'm going to. So in my school, I'm the only full-time music teacher. Right. The only music teacher. However, I have friends who teach, like, if they teach elementary level and middle school level, not high school, they'll teach at two different schools as half-time to make a full-time position. Right. And they kind of don't really get it so great because they'll usually get, like, the worst room because they only need a space to be occupied and some stuff. Like, if you're not teaching... But the school that I'm going to, like, we have an actual band room. You know, I don't have to worry about that so much. But no, I was gonna say, like, I didn't have to worry about changing my room, you know, until I decided I was gonna leave. Usually, I don't change anything in my room at the end of the year. You know, we have to put a bag over our computer. We have to, you know, clean up the room, move the chairs, move everything to the side so that, you know, the building service workers can clean up. Right. And then I usually just keep everything in the desk and stuff because I'm like, oh, I'm coming back. It won't matter. Yeah. I finally had an opportunity to experience that this year, and it was glorious. Yeah, until I had to change rooms, and then I'm like, oh, this is what everybody feels like. Yes. Like, even cleaning up my room, even though I've only been there 2 years, I was done cleaning up everything yesterday. Yeah. I was ready to, like, actually sign out and leave and not come back. But then nobody was there to actually check me out. Everybody kind of left early because, you know, it's the end of the year. Yeah. So I came back today and I went one last rummage through everything and I was still finding stuff. Like, I found cards. I found, like, pictures that they drew. Aww. And so I was like, oh, let me take this stuff. I don't want to leave this. It's still important to me, you know. Yeah. Isn't that the craziest thing? How something as simple as a drawing can make you just feel like, I can't throw this away. Like, I still have so many... pictures that my kids have drawn for me, even though there's some little rinky-dink kindergarten pictures, they're still important to me because they made them
with, you know, their heart in the right place. So I still have a hard time. I still have letters and pictures from my second graders.
Yeah.
Like, I can't bring myself to throw that stuff away. I just can't.
I have stuff from when I was a substitute teacher at the school that I'm going to now. I subbed there, and I have like stuff that the students drew me or gave me. We had a Japanese transfer student. She came from Japan and spent the school year with us, and she gave me some drawings. She gave me these what are they? Green tea Kit Kats.
Aww.
Oh my god, they were so good. She like imported them, like she brought them over from Japan, or she ordered them from Japan and brought them over. We don't have them here, and they were so good. She was like, "Yeah, Miss Queen, you want to try this?" And I'm like, "She's like, yeah, it's a green tea Kit Kat." And I'm like, we eat them a lot, you know, at home. And so I'm like, she was like, "Try it, it's good." And I was like, "Okay." And it was like really good.
Yeah.
So I kept one in like my freezer for a long time, just one, until I had moved out, and I was like, I'm just gonna finally eat this.
Aww. Yeah.
But,
you know, I know this is so off topic, but there's something so awesome about getting gifts from your kids, man. I have so much Valentine stuff. Like, I have like bears and cups and just so many things from students. Like, oh my god.
That kind of stuff.
I know. It's a little different for me because I'm an elementary school teacher, so I'm with my kids literally all day. So I'm basically like a second mom to them. And sometimes they slip up and call me mom. I'm like, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to call you mom." I was like, "It's okay. I'm your school mama. I'm your school mama. It's okay." But yeah.
Christmas, you know, I get a lot of gift cards. I had lots of gift cards.
Yes.
I had like a $50 to $100 in gift cards.
Yes.
Let me see. Did I take it out of my car? I still have stuff in my car.
Yeah.
But last year, one of my students gave me this book, and it was the title is "The Adventures of a Music Teacher: A Book of Quotes." So what it is an empty book, and it has like who said it, when, and where. So you're supposed to fill it up with quotes. Yeah. And I didn't use it a lot. I think I wrote it 1 or 2 times, but I'm going to actively use it. I'm going in this year. And the student, I think, did she sign it? I have to see if she signed it. I wanted to tell her to sign it. I hope she signed it. But if she not, I'll have to put the student's name in the book so I'll remember who she is one day. But it was a cute book.
Aww.
It's a really cute book. And,
sentimental stuff like that, man.
I've gotten my first band director mug. And I drink out of it. I drink coffee out of it.
Oh, yes. I use some of my teacher mugs, like, all the time. Like, I use all my stuff that my kids give me.
Got gift cards. And I got a few more things. But definitely, I didn't get any this year. And, you know, obviously with how the year went.
Right.
I'm not really expecting any because they haven't seen me in 3 months. Right. But for me, am I going on the topic?
No, we're good. Like, I think this kind of goes to our end of the year takeaways because that was our next topic. Like, just the memories that we've had with our students and, like, how much of an impact that they have on us because we spend so much time with these kids. Like, people don't realize, like, when you're a teacher, like, there's this misconception about teachers, like, oh, like, there's no way that you can care about these kids when, you know, like, they don't think we spend as much time with them as we do for some reason. But it's like, think about how much time, especially you, because you, like, have to, like, plan with them and, like, practice with them, and it's like after school things. It's just like there's so much time that we spend with these kids, and you get so attached to them. So it's hard to not get attached, you know, when you spend so much time with them. Like, for me, like, I'm literally with my kids from 7 to 3 every day. Like, that's half their lives. That's half my life. So, you know, and then, like, people, like, are like, oh, well, you know, teaching is such a thankless job. And, like, I understand why people say that from, like, a perspective, like, the adults. Like, we don't really feel like parents, and even a lot of times administration really, like, appreciate us the way that they should. But one thing about teaching, at least in my experience, and I don't know, you could tell me how you feel about this, but even if you feel unappreciated and unthanked by administration, by parents, by, you know, other adults, like, I feel like your kids give you all the affirmations that you need. Because even when I feel like there's a parent who's not really understanding all that I do, their child is gonna let me know that they love me and that they appreciate me, and they're gonna show you what they learn. Like, here's the amazing thing about kids, and me and Rome talked about this last podcast, because me and Jerome both teach children who are from a certain socioeconomic background, but especially the kids that I work with in general, they gonna show you what you know. Because, like, one of the things that before COVID and this kind of goes with my end of the year takeaway, and I feel like, oh, this is making me sad, because we were working on writing portfolios at the end of the year. Because, you know, kindergartners don't know how to write. And so I realized that that's a fact. And that's why I was working so hard with my kids. But it's like, you know the need of your kids, right? Like, even musically, you understand what your kids' needs are. You understand what they could practice on. You understand what they need to do to grow and be better. So, like, you know, me teaching kindergarten, I knew my kids' needs. And, like, one of the end of the year takeaways for me was our writing portfolios, because I had babies who still had issues with their had issues with their fine motor skills, and it was really hard for them to actualize actual letters to create sentences and words and stuff. And I had babies who struggled so hard with that, but after we did it for a couple of weeks, they showed me, like, yes, this is how you do this. And remember, every time we end our sentences, we end it with a what? We end it with a period. They're like, look, I did this. And it's just like, I just love y'all so much, because, anyway, to me, that's affirming. And I think that's one of the things that I could take away from the end of the year. COVID cut us short, but my babies were becoming some real ass writers. So,
there you go.
Thinking about it is making me emotional.
For me, you know, I think I said this last time. We ended right after my kids went and did their state performance.
Oh, yes.
So they performed in just the day before. The next day was a Friday, and we were reflecting on our performance, and then we never came back.
Right.
So I just felt like my 7th graders had really grown tremendously. And, like, as I teach in middle school, I realized, like, how middle school works. Like, it's really a bridge between elementary and high school.
Yes.
They're still babies.
Absolutely.
They're still babies, and 7th graders are that crazy middle, but the 8th graders are really kind of early high schoolers.
Right.
So my 7th graders are in that transition, and as 6th graders, they were crazy.
Yes.
7th grade, they really, like, and I told them this when I did each grade level. I gave them an individual video that talks specifically about their grade. And my 7th graders, I was telling them, like, hey, you guys showed me that you are mature, you know, you can do this, and that you are outstanding musicians. They got compliments.
Yes.
Like, and my 7th grade is like, when I would talk to them, like, man, I'm scared for them. They have their moments where I'm not sure if they're quite ready or mature for the stage, and we're working hard. And that whole day, just the whole day period, they showed out, and they were like, oh, we on stage? Well, we got to have our stage presence.
Yes.
We in the auditorium, and we're watching. Oh, well, we got to be good listeners.
Yes.
Oh, we're playing, then we got to play well. They did outstanding. And
yes.
I started to really feel confident about, like, their growth, what we would be able to do moving into the end of the year and into the 8th grade. And, like, we were going to go to Hershey Park as our end of the year trip. They were going to perform at Hershey Park, and then they would have the park to enjoy afterwards. And I was like, you guys, like, really deserve this more than anyone else, any grade level that's going to go.
Yeah.
I think you guys deserve this. You worked really hard. Like, the most improved award definitely goes to you guys.
And affirming your kids is so powerful. I don't think people realize, I don't think other teachers realize how powerful affirming your kids are. Just like, you know, like I said, with my kids in our writing portfolios and stuff, like you affirm them, you instill those skills in them, you're effective, they gonna show you what you know. And I think that your kids are also a really good example of that. Like you might feel like what you're saying to them is going through one ear and out the other, but your kid showed you that day that, hey, our teacher taught us well, and we gonna show you.
And that was like that always stuff like I'm always thinking like, man, did they remember when I taught them this?
Right.
I didn't test them on this. Did they think it was important?
Right.
And then they'd be like, oh no, we remember that, you know. So kids, so I learned them, you know, my kids were doing really well, and I learned that I could actually teach middle school because I wasn't sure if middle school was for me.
Ooh, middle school is hard.
Hard. It is. And I wasn't sure it was for me, but I learned that it was. I'm also learned that kids are resilient.
Yes, they are.
Resilient.
Yes, they are.
Throughout this whole thing, I have lots of kids who even though it was easy to be able to check out, like their parents wouldn't be paying attention or whatever, that even though we didn't do much, you know, they still came to my live sessions. They still did the assignments. They still checked in. They still
yes.
So it made me feel good, like, oh, well, the kids kind of already know we're not going to be graded for this. Like, in my middle school, in our district,
right,
fine arts classes are not a grade for the end of the year.
Right.
So they could have easily been like, oh, I'm not getting graded on this anyway.
But they did it anyway.
They were like, oh, man, nah, we just want to talk to you. Like,
right.
The best part of my day was being in band class, or the best part of my day is being in school.
Right.
Interacting with my classmates, and I want to be able to talk to them. I want to be able to talk to you.
Right.
And it's funny because I always affirm my kids. I always call them beautiful people, first of all.
Aww.
No matter who they are, boy, girl, beautiful people.
You're a beautiful human.
Black, white, Asian,
right.
Hispanic. You're beautiful people because you are.
Right.
And so those things, when I think about it, I remember my running joke. I always have a lot of running gags for my kids.
You got those.
One of my jokes is that when
cat
I
dad jokes.
I was like, yo, I'm going to the gym so I can get skinny and fine, so I can find my Miss Queen. So they would laugh. So a few weeks ago, I had a meeting, and I was like, they were like, oh, Mr. Queen, what you been doing? I'm like, you know, gym's been closed, so I started working out and eating healthy. They were like, oh, you trying to find your Miss Queen? I remember that. They were like, and then like I got out to do something, and I walked away. They're like, Miss Queen, you getting skinny? We can see you losing weight. I'm like,
they really like if they know that you're reaching a goal, they gonna let you know. They gonna let you know, like, hey, remember blah blah. Especially kindergartners, they ain't got no filter. They gonna be like, hey, remember when you said you was gonna stop doing blah blah blah? I'm like, hey, you don't have to call me out like that. Kids will hold you accountable when nobody else will. I promise you.
What did I told them, they got mad at me because on our festival day, our performance day, my goal originally was to take them to the mall to eat lunch after we were done. Yeah. That was the original plan. Unfortunately, couldn't do that because I had two different bands. I had a 7th grade band and an 8th grade band. Their times were so close together. By the time one band finished, we had to basically go back, bring the other band. Right. So I didn't take any grade to eat at the mall. And the first thing they asked, Miss Queen, are we still going to the mall? And I was like, no. You said we was going to the mall. I did. I'm sorry. But the time that our performances are, we weren't able to go to the mall. They were like, but you gonna make this up to us? Like, yes, I'll make it up to you later, guys. So
they remember everything.
Bring them some snacks or and have a little fun day. They can play card games.
Yeah.
You know, do whatever, and I would bring some chips and cookies and juice, and they sit there because I was proud of them. That was gonna be my thing. Yeah. And I don't mind rewarding my students when they do well. And they do
Same. I've had ice cream parties and everything for my kids. Like, hey, y'all worked for this. Like, I remember, I'd said to my kids, I say, if we can do, kindergarten is, we do things that don't sound like milestones to big kids. But my thing is if everybody can reach so and so level on these writing portfolios, I'll bring you guys ice cream. And so, if they got a goal, boy, they gonna definitely try to reach it. So it's good to reward your kids and let them know that, their hard work is, it's important and that they should always, continue to work hard. I mean, snacks and parties and stuff are not, but I do think it's okay to reward kids for their good work.
My last thing before we go on to the next
sure.
I don't think I sent this to you. I'll send it to you later. Is when I announced that I had my new job, I put it on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And that Facebook post is probably by far one of the most engaged posts I've had on Facebook since Chase was born. Basically.
Oh wow.
It's like 250 likes, like over 100 comments, and for me that's a lot. I don't, I'm not one of the cool kids, so for me that's a lot.
Right.
One of the alumni screenshot the post and sent it to the current band members.
Oh.
And like she screenshotted parts of the conversation that they had and sent it to me. So first of all, some of the kids who would be seniors this upcoming year remember me from when they were freshmen.
Oh wow.
Because I subbed for them, so they remember me from when they were freshmen, and they were like, "Yeah, Mr. Quinn's gonna be so awesome," and they were like, "He used to write the music for the band." And like even the kids were like, "Oh my God, we're so excited to meet him now! Like we are happy to have a band director and someone who cares." And they were like, "Yo, we can't mess this up. We need to we need to make sure that he's like this." I'll send you the screenshot.
Oh.
I'll do that.
And these are the students saying all this?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Just the feels.
Oh my God, I could imagine how they put you in your feelings.
It was. I was like, oh man, like I didn't think like they would remember, and I didn't think they would have the reaction they had. Like I knew they would react, but I didn't feel like it was going to be overwhelmingly as supportive. I was just like, oh, this is making my heart warm. Like,
this is some good feels. Like it's been so hard in the real world. It's just good to have some good feels and some good vibes, That's awesome.
Right. And my takeaway from that is that like when you really make a difference in kids, they'll remember you.
They remember you, facts.
Whether it's 1, 2, or 3 years later, 4,
right.
10, kids will remember you and they'll say, "Hey, he was my teacher,"
right?
Or he used to be my teacher, and so that really just felt good. And like, wow, I think I am making a.
You're making an impact. That means that you live in your purpose. I always say that when you feel like when you go to work and you, even no matter how hard your work is, and then you come home and feel satisfied, you are living your purpose. And, a lot of people are like, why would you want to be a teacher? Like, they underpaid and, they not appreciated. Like, I feel like I'm living my purpose. Like, as long as my kids are affirming me, I know that I'm doing my job. As long as my kids are performing, if, they're struggling and I see that they're developing those skills, that affirms me. So,
right. And that's my thing. Like, I always told people, like, I gotta want to be rich, probably in high school, like, want to have a lot. I just wanted to be happy, but whatever I wanted to do, I wanted to be fulfilled by it.
Right, exactly.
So, even I can agree, I could use a little bit more money in my paycheck.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
But I don't think I could ever really complain about what I'm doing. Like my frat brother that I was telling you that we had the Scotch tasting.
Mm-hmm.
He said like he enjoyed teaching, but he was like, for him because of the pay, his heart wasn't as in it. Like,
right.
He was good at it, but I was like, man, I don't mind if I can live my life and if I can save up and do things I want to do in the future.
Right.
Then I am completely okay with
and that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm at a point where, like, don't get me wrong, like, trust me, I could always use more money in my pocket, okay? Listen. Oh, yeah. So if you are somebody who knows somebody who works in the government who want to get us a little more check, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I'm always down for that, but I'm not in it for the money. And I feel like even though I don't get paid as much as I feel like I should be getting paid, I'm comfortable. So...
For sure.
But let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. So our summer plans. I have summer plans. I wish I could have more summer plans, but COVID is really making it hard to have a hot girl summer. Cause like, listen, COVID. But I will say this: COVID is the reason why I've been losing a lot of weight. Because you're gaining weight, I'm losing weight, and I'm actually kind of surprised about that. Well, not really surprised, because I know me. I'm so, like, paranoid, right? So I'm like, okay, I know COVID is still out there, so I'm trying to stay away from people. So obviously, part of staying away from people is staying away from other people's cooking, which is fast food for me. So it's like, I'm not eating as much fast food. I'm cooking a lot more on my own. And cutting out fast food, I actually stopped drinking soda. I stopped drinking soda like literally before COVID started, like in March, like before spring break. I told my teacher friends, like, I'm done with soda. I feel like I drink it. Because, like, we have, like, vending machines and stuff in the campus. So, like, I find myself, like, going by the vending machine, getting me a Coke or whatever, like, a lot. And then, like, I told my teacher friends, I was like, yo, I gotta cut this stuff out of my life because I'm drinking it too much. So then that's when I started experimenting with drinking like sparkling water and like, you know, trying to figure out like what brands I like the most and which ones taste better and stuff. So I've been a sparkling water shawty since like March. So that's been helping me lose weight. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about that. We're talking about our summer plans. But it ties into my summer plans because the girl is looking good, okay? The girl is looking good because I cut out a lot of bad junk from my diet. So I've been buying a lot of hot girl clothes, black owned, by the way, because that's how I'm doing it nowadays. And you know what's funny? I've always been conscious about, you know, trying to buy stuff black owned, but it's always been like simple stuff that you can find all the time, like food. Like, okay, if I could find like a black owned restaurant, like I'll go dine. But it never really occurred to me that I could extend that to other things like clothing and makeup, you know, like it just, I don't know why, but it just never occurred to me. I guess because in my area, like I live in like a small city but a big town. We don't really have a lot of black owned like boutiques and stuff, but we have like a lot of black owned restaurants. Like that's like a common thing. I feel like soul food, barbecue, especially in Texas. So, you know, normally, you know, if I'm gonna get clothes, like I usually go to these big brands and stuff like that, but I found so many, like in the last couple of weeks, I found so many like black owned boutiques and shops where I've been getting my hot girl clothes. And a lot of that stuff is coming next week. I'm really excited about that. But, cause I always felt like summers are where I can be myself. Like I know that sounds crazy, but as a teacher during the school year, I don't know if this is the case for you, but I feel like being a teacher during the school year, I really can't be myself because I'm in teacher mode. Like, you're a community leader from August, in my case. From August to May, you are a community leader. So you can't do no hot girl stuff. And if you do, you better make sure you go, like, miles and miles away. And, and then also, I guess because of the workload, I really don't feel as free to just like go hang out because I always got something in the back of my mind. Maybe it's just me. And I'm hoping that over time, you know, me and Jerome talked last week about trying to balance work and life. So I'm hoping that over time I have more of a balance to where I feel like I can go on the weekends and just like hang out with my friends or like go do something with my sister or like, you know. But during the school year, I am such a lame. So when it comes down to the summertime, I be wanting to wild out. Like, not wild out, like do crazy stuff, but like I want to be grown. I don't want to worry about how somebody's mama or daddy gonna view me as they teacher out here drinking and all this and that. So when summertime comes, I want to go places. I want to do things. Last year, I wasn't able to do anything really because there was some family things going on. I don't know if you remember this. There were some family things going on in my life last year. So I was babysitting my niece and nephew a lot. So I was not really able to do a lot of things. And then this year, I'm not able to do much because of COVID. But COVID, right? Because this would have been the year, hunty. Okay, I was like, I've been on dating apps. I'm trying to go on some dates. But, you know, I do need to get me some pepper spray because niggas be tripping. But, anyway, that's a fact of life for me right now. Anyways, so that's a whole other topic for a whole nother day. But so this weekend I'm gonna be going to Houston with my dad and my stepmom and like my step siblings and my biological brothers on my dad's side. So it's gonna be like a big family trip. So we're going to Houston this weekend just to spend the night, like go to Papado's restaurant out, you know, stuff like that. And then we're gonna go on to Galveston and we're gonna camp out on the beach in Galveston. And I feel like, you know, that's the thing we can do as a family. We're still social distancing from other families and stuff. So I feel like that's gonna be fun. You know, there are some things that make me a little bit leery if you've been keeping up with current events. There's a lot of stuff going on that's really scary. So that's got me feeling leery. I think there are hate crimes being covered up as suicides, but that's neither here nor there. Those are not suicides, but we're not here to talk about that. But so my family and I are going to be going on a trip this week, and I'm really excited about that. This will be my first time going camping ever. So,
all right. You know, I was about to make a comment. I was like, I don't think camping is like really a black people thing.
It's not.
I'm interested in like you saying that you were going camping. You know, like I've never been camping. I've been
right.
to a summer camp for like a week or something, but I've never been camping like real deal.
Right.
So definitely interesting that you're going camping. So hopefully, you know, it's actually fun and you guys are safe and everything's good. Right.
That's why, like, I'm about to listen. I got a taser already. Like, my taser got here in the mail a couple of days ago. I'm about to go get me some pepper spray whenever I go back out and probably tomorrow sometime.
And the funny thing is, you posted that picture, and not to change the topic because we talk about stuff. You posted a picture about like the self-defense kit.
Yeah.
And like I was like, you know, I'm telling, like I sent it to like Passion, I sent it to like some of my other friends who are women, and I was like, y'all need to get this. And I was thinking like, yeah, y'all need to get this, but I'm like,
you need to get this too.
To protect myself.
Right, you need to get some too.
Like, you know, everything is not accomplished with these hands.
Listen,
you know, I mean, even though it should, but you know, sometimes people don't fight fair,
right?
Or people are trying to do more than just want to, you know, fight. They want to do something else. They want to kidnap you.
There you go.
You know, human trafficking is real, male and female.
Yep, absolutely.
So I was thinking like, not to make light of what was going on, like maybe I need to get something, you know.
And you do.
For myself and like.
And you do.
I tend to drive late at night. I tend to go around places, just because that's just kind of how I am because I live so far away. I'll drive, you know, far away, and I'm not familiar with the area I live in right now.
Right.
But, just moved here, so I'm thinking the same thing. Like maybe I should.
You do.
Myself, you know, just in case something go left.
Like
I
it's
plan on
right.
2021. By the end of 2021, I need to have a CCL. You know.
Same. That's my next move. My next move is I'm getting a gun, and I've always been not anti-gun, but I've always been. I don't like weapons because of my childhood. There was lots of abuse. So I try to stay away from things that could potentially be lethal to people. But we're just living in a climate where it's always been like that, but it's just been more evident to me more so now in current events than normal that I really need to protect myself. So, right. But anyway, I don't want to sour the moment because y'all already know what's going on in real life.
So are you so I know you're going camping. You got any other big summer plans?
Man, if I can get me a date, just one, Rome, just one. And like, it's not even like I want a boyfriend because you know how I feel about that right now. Like, I just want to enjoy the company of a man, have some laughs, have some drinks, you know, just a fun time. Like that would be something that I would like to do. Like just go on one date. Like it ain't even gotta be serious. Like just entertain me for like 2 hours, right? Like
2 hours.
Because I feel like I deprived myself, and this is the real tea. And like I know this is so off topic, but you know this is kind of like a discussionary type of show. It's not like super structured, but like I feel like I deprived myself of that in my youth because I was so focused on school, so focused on getting my education, focused on trying to get my career, focused on the next step to making me be where I am right now, that I never really stopped. Like, I had boyfriends, but I never stopped to, like, allow men to court me. I know that sounds really, like, well, really, Nia? But that's just really the fact of life. Like, I've never just gone on, like, casual dates with men. Like, I've never just allowed myself to be young and flirty. And, like, it's always been about business and work, and my whole 20s was me working 2 jobs. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now that I'm older and I've accomplished a lot of the things that I wanted to accomplish, like I have my degree now. Like I'm working on getting some stuff out the way so I can get a house, which we're going to talk about. You know, I have a career, like an actual career that I love, not just a job now. I feel like now that I have these things, like I'm just ready to have fun. Safely, of course, but fun, you know? But anyway.
It's funny you say that, because I said the same thing about myself. Of course, you know me when I was a wee young lad. And in high school, I had my longtime girlfriend that ended up being, the mother of my son.
Right.
Throughout high school and through my early college. I had a few moments where I was a little hot boy, but for the most part, I had
right.
a relationship with Chase's mom. Then I had, Z, most recently, but kind of in between those, I didn't really like go and shop around. Like, I think last year I had like a little phase where I did a lot of just casual dating just to see, throwing shit at the wall. It was I didn't curse, but
right. I cursed it too. I hope nobody caught it.
And so the same was just stuff like, meeting these different people, like saying like, okay, I don't like this in the person that I'm dating, or she was kind of fun,
right.
Kind of just seeing what sticks, and that I did that for a little bit last year, and then this year I've kind of been talking to someone a little seriously,
right.
But I've never really just like dated it. I always wondered. I was like, dang, did I miss out like on like this one phase of my life where everybody's just, doing whatever, safely, of course,
I feel like I did, because I was so...
and like, much like you, I was studious. I was into my music. I was into being in band. Like, I was going to work in the morning, class in the afternoon, band rehearsal in the evening, and then going, to bed by midnight, waking up and doing it again.
Exactly.
So... I always wonder if I missed out. I try to say no that I'm not, but sometimes I just wonder, like, dang, like maybe this was a phase. Like, you going in your 30s, you can't go back and have that.
Right. I mean, I feel like it ain't too late, man. I mean, you talking to a home chick right now, so I'm not trying to sway you in the other direction, but I feel like that's just a normal, like, I feel like that's a normal, like, feeling to have because of the nature of what we do and how we got here. Like, when you want to do anything, especially in education, I didn't know I wanted to be in education, so I took a couple of extra paths to get here. It's like, all these branching paths and refocusing and focusing and refocusing and focusing. Like, that took a lot of time from my life that I didn't dedicate to other things. And, like, I feel like in some ways, I'm not going to get into that, but it's hard. Like, when you have a focus, when you have like a legitimate goal, I feel like sometimes it's hard to compartmentalize between, working towards that goal and then actually trying to have like some, like a social life, or like trying to actually do things that bring you joy, and I feel like that's a struggle that I had basically my entire 20s. Now that I'm in my 30s, my mind has refocused because I feel like I'm at a point in my life where my brain has matured to such a degree to where I can balance certain things better than I could in my 20s. So, like, I don't think it's anything wrong with having that feeling. I think a lot of people have that feeling, So it's like, that's just a normal human thing, I feel like. Okay. But anyway, what you doing this summer?
So I don't even know. I have a wedding in August. I have a wedding in August. My best friend is getting married, and I'm the best man at his wedding. So that's in August. It was originally supposed to be in May.
Yeah.
But
COVID.
And now it's in August. I still have to plan his bachelor party, and I'm like, I don't even know if that's gonna really be a thing.
Oh no! Look and see what's open. Because you might be able to find something that's open during COVID, but it's still small and intimate enough to where you guys are not putting yourself and other people at risk. Yeah. Like a bed and breakfast. Those are small.
Not even that.
Well, I don't know if dudes really do that, but...
Well, not just that. It's like, so I still want to plan it, and even if it's open, I don't know if some people got laid off.
That's very true.
The money factor, and
that's very true.
Still got to put down money on the tuxes. Because me and Chase, because Chase is in the wedding too, and we those tuxes. You know what? I don't think I said this No, tuxes are if you rent a tux, it's the same cost no matter what the size is.
Oh wow!
This big.
Wow!
It costs the same amount of money as my tux.
Oh my god!
How can you can? It was crazy.
That's crazy. So you and so you and Chase like legit have like different tux sizes by far, but his is the same price as yours.
The same price.
That's crazy.
Yo, I was like, bruh. the same price. It costs like $2 to make his tux, and probably like maybe $45 to make mine. If we talking about, and it costs the same amount to rent.
Oh, that's crazy.
I was like, yo,
that's crazy.
So I have the wedding. I thought about getting like a little summer job, just doing something to kill some time.
Definitely not.
Make a little bit extra money.
That's for you.
But well, I think I told you I'm a supporter of the idea of year-round school.
Oh yeah, well we are not the same.
Well, and we're not gonna we'll talk about this in another podcast. But my idea is that we've moved away from the reason why school was in this time frame, and I think there's some advantages to year-round school, not just because of not just because it takes away the break, but I think there's some other opportunities for. Anyway, we'll talk about that in another podcast.
Right.
So I wanted to occupy my time this summer. Last summer I did get a job for a little bit. I also spent a lot of time with Chase over the summer last summer, and I'll probably spend a good bit of time with him this summer.
Right.
But he doesn't have any summer camp because COVID, so I'm gonna try to find activities to keep him engaged and keep him learning. Especially since he lost a good bit of content, learning this year.
Right.
He got some catching up to do, so I'll probably work him like a horse a little bit, trying to get him ready for the second grade. What else do I want to do over the summer? I wanted to travel. I really want to travel. I do. I want to go somewhere.
Right.
Last summer my goal was for this summer for me and Chase to take a father-son trip.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I'm still going to try to make it happen. I just don't know how. I don't know how yet, because right now my main priority is making sure that the wedding is going to be ready. And
right.
I got a lot to pay for in terms of that and the health plan. Of course, I did my Scotch tasting over the weekend. Next weekend, I plan on also hanging out with my frat brothers more.
Mm-hmm.
For people who are curious, I keep saying frat brothers and I don't say frat. I'm in Kappa Kappa Psi National Honorary Band Fraternity. For those of you who are in D9, that's not to be confused with Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, because I get that a lot, even though our colors are like not different, are completely different.
Right.
Like I have a blue and white, and they're like, "Oh, you one of those candy cane people?" I'm like,
completely different color scheme, dude. Completely different color scheme.
I get, there's only one letter that separates us.
Yeah.
Letters. But then when you look at the colors, you should make sense. That's not you should be like, oh no, that's not okay. The other Kappa people, okay. But
that's funny.
I plan on hanging out with them and fellowshipping more with my fraternity. And I think my sister lives in Eastern Shore, Maryland, and that's like a popular tourist attraction. So I'm gonna go down and visit her with my son because he hasn't seen his cousins in a year since last summer. So I'm gonna try to do that. Of course, a lot of my summer is gonna be spent handling business, like you've already heard.
That's definitely gonna be a lot. That's gonna be a lot of your life.
We're still trying to figure out what band is gonna look like.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling like, all right, if there's going to be sports, then they're going to want band to go with their football.
Right.
So we're trying to figure out how that's going to work with social distancing guidelines.
Ooh.
And I've been talking with a lot of band directors and friends who are music teachers and who are coaches, and we're trying to figure out how can we do this without, getting kids sick. What is our provision? What do we do once a kid gets sick? And,
oh my gosh!
Like figuring out all this stuff. Like how do we retain liability? How do we prevent that? How do we prevent a lawsuit?
Oh.
Instruments.
Yeah.
So that's a big conversation I know I'm going to have a plan And so I've just been digging through the crates, like, all right, if there's marching band, how do I go about this? And
Right.
trying to figure out. I'm also trying to figure out, well, what are my other options? So
Yeah.
let's say we don't have marching band. That's a big part of my recruitment gone away because kids see marching band. They're like, oh, I see.
They want to be a part of that.
Yeah, how do I recruit moving forward? And how does my class even look now that it's going to be all online, or if it's going to be online for part of the year? And
Oh, I'm dreading that.
That's a lot of stuff. And like I said, I'm a person that's like the only person in my building, you know, and there's only a few of us in the district. I kind of feel like it's a lot of on my own planning or networking with people who are
right
farther away. So I've spent a lot of time doing that.
Right.
And the other plans I had, COVID took.
COVID,
you know,
yep.
COVID just ruins everything. It just kind of ruins everything.
Yeah.
It makes everything so uncertain.
It really does.
It's so confusing. So I just, you know, I try to keep summer plans like in the tuck, but right now I'm not.
You don't really know what's gonna go.
Besides the wedding.
Yeah, because like I said, Texas is having a resurgence of COVID right now. So.
Oh yeah, there was a map, and I'm gonna send it to you. I'll add it. Hey. What? My mom just asked me where can she get a Steam gift card.
A Steam gift card?
Yes.
What?
I have to make sure she's talking about Steam as in like the game platform, because I'm confused. My mom doesn't even know how to barely can turn on a computer.
That's the hilarious part. What?
I'm imagining she's going to get it from my uncle for Father's Day.
Yeah.
Father's Day is this weekend. Oh,
Father's Day is this weekend. Well, you're a father, so you should probably remember when Father's Day is happening.
Let me tell you, and this is, we're going to be segueing a little bit. Let me tell you why I don't like Father's Day.
Oh.
Let me tell you. So Mother's Day, right?
Yeah.
Mother's Day, they're like, oh, you know, Mother's Day is the day for the mom to relax and get some time with the kids. So everybody takes the kids, and mom gets to, you know, go get spa. She gets to go out to eat. She gets pampered and all that stuff. No, Father's Day. Oh, wow, you're a dad. You do such an awesome job with your kids. Here, take them again for another day. Take them all day. You know, don't be rough and tumble. Don't get pampered. Don't get fed. You know, fathers on Father's Day get the shaft. Because Father's Day is the day where you get kids more.
Oh my God.
Like Father's Day isn't a day that's like, oh, you know, you can relax, you know, go get this, you know.
Oh no.
This, you know, manicure and pedicure because you know you're a guy, you need to keep yourself groomed. You know, maybe go get a massage or, you know.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but shout outs to Bill for the $5 donation. He says the best nation is a donation. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate you.
So I always feel like Father's Day doesn't celebrate Father's Day. However, I will say over the last few years, I've had more people come and like appreciate me.
Yeah.
So like this year, Passion brought me something. She told me I can't open it until Father's Day. So
Aww.
I don't know what it is right now. And Z brought me something she said it was from the cats, so she brought me something.
Aww.
Chase usually gets me something. It's usually not like anything super big, but he usually gets me something. And I usually get a lot of, you know, calls and texts on Father's Day. I've gotten more recently, so I've been appreciated more this year. So I'll slack off on Father's Day this year. I'll slack off on it.
Yeah.
But just know I've been at it before because.
No, but you're right though. You're right though. It's like, you know, we definitely don't treat Father's Day in the same manner that we treat Mother's Day. Like it's.
Right.
And especially, I can understand, especially how it's frustrating for like dads who are present, like you. Like you are a present dad, so you should be able to have like a spa ticket or something for a day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Like I want to groom myself. Like,
yeah.
I always tell my younger guy friends and like my younger male students, like, hey, you gotta kind of groom yourself as a guy.
You do.
Walking around here looking all.
You can't be out here ashy. You can't be out here ashy. You can't do it.
Nah. So I tell like, especially my young masters, I'm like, hey man, like don't be afraid to have some of that smell good lotion. Oh shoot,
Boom.
my smell good lotion's still in my classroom. I gotta go get that. So I usually keep like lotion and stuff like that for the kids. They always want something.
Yeah.
We got some lotion. I'm ashy. So I always get this like I get scented lotion, and I used to have like hand sanitizer, just stuff like that. I gotta make sure I go get that. But
for sure.
Anyway, Father's Day, I'll be at Father's Day next sometime. So I think I have Chase this weekend because this is part of me starting to get him for like a bit of time. So I might have to say, hey, can I just pick him up on Monday because it's Father's Day and I want to. I'm gonna have to advocate for myself.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, I really hope that's not a fight for you. Please, I really hope that goes well.
It won't. Trust me, it won't be. But yeah, I'm an advocate for myself. Like, hey, I'm a dad, and I want to.
For real, get you some scotch since you bougie now. Get you some scotch.
I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind.
Get you some scotch, some wine, or something. Do something that makes you happy. Okay, you do your thing.
Jamaican food. Oh, I just recently got put onto Jamaican food. I'm so disappointed in myself.
Oh wow.
Like I've had Senegalese food and some African foods. I never had Japanese. I never had Jamaican food until like I had some 2 weeks ago, and then for the first time I had it like last month.
Right.
Like
I've never had Jamaican food either.
And she always is like she's always cooking stuff.
Yeah.
But I had never had any, and I was just like, I never had it. She was like, well, if you don't go try some goddamn Jamaican food, I can't be.
Is she Jamaican?
You ain't never had it. Huh?
Is she Jamaican?
Yeah.
See, I live in Texas, so it's not a whole lot of options for like different types of food unless it's like Asian food. Because believe it or not, a lot of Asians immigrate to Texas. Like really? A lot of Asians immigrate to Texas. So like we have like a lot of Asian places. Of course, we got a lot of Hispanic food. Tex-Mex is literally everywhere. But I'm gonna look around and see if we got some places like that here.
Yeah, it's surprising because she's from Michigan, and so it's weird. It was always weird. I'm like, how do you go from always south down in Jamaica, and then you come all the way up and you migrate to of all places like
Michigan.
I know New York has a big island population. The
right.
area does, but I'm like, Michigan, how do y'all get up there?
You stupid. People can migrate to wherever they want to.
But yeah. My summer plan's not really set in stone outside the wedding, so I'm hoping that kind of really gets taken off. I hope that, this second wave that we're allegedly getting is a false alarm, but like you said, y'all are having a resurgence. China's having a resurgence, so I might kiss that goodbye.
Try to keep my comments to myself. Keeping my comments, because I have so many comments about my governor in Texas, but we ain't here to talk about that. So let's go ahead and move on to this home ownership topic. So Rome and I are both on our journeys to trying to get a house, and I don't even know if I'm qualified to talk about this because I ain't got a house yet, but I promise you next year the girl will have a house, okay? It's gonna be lavish.
Remember what I told you? I feel like this home ownership topic is more of a journey and not a.
It's definitely more of a journey.
One-stop shop because we're both pretty early in it, for different reasons. So,
right.
I don't think this is like, we're gonna talk about this once. I think as we learn more and we figure this one out, we'll be, talking through it big time.
Absolutely. So who wants to start this topic? Because this is like I don't even know where to start.
I think you should.
Okay, well, I guess I'll go ahead and start since I have actually been actively looking and talking to real estate people and lenders. So, let me tell y'all about my journey because it's definitely been one. So, last year, I was like last summer maybe, I was looking at my budget and all my finances because, good people who know how to, who are good with their money do that. So I'm looking at my budget and I'm like, yo, why am I spending all this money on rent? And I started thinking about I've been in the same apartment for about 6 or 7 years. And so I'm thinking like, okay, all this money that I'm spending on rent could really be going to something that is going to benefit me in the long run down the road, right? So then that's when it really clicked in my head, like, I need to go ahead and get the ball rolling on trying to see what's up with, like, getting a house. Like, getting a house has always been, like, a goal for me, but I've never been stable enough to actually, like, pursue it. And, you know, I've always had jobs. Like, well, I'm not going to say that because before I decided to go on my journey to teaching, you know, I did work at a mental health agency, and that was a good job. You know, it was a good job. I wasn't getting paid as much as what I'm getting paid to teach, but it was stable enough to where I feel like I could have been making some moves then, but I was in my 20s. My mind wasn't there yet, right? So now that I'm older and my brain is there, you know, I've been thinking like I really want to start looking into getting a house. So that's when I reached out last year to a real estate agency, and then I also reached out to a home lending service. So last year, so basically what happened was last year when I talked to the lender, she essentially told me that my credit score was not high enough. Like, my credit score is off by like maybe like between like 15 to 20 points, something like that. And it's not bad. So I'm actually blessed to be in a position that I'm in. But she told me, you know, the reason why I didn't qualify, you know, to work with them in their lending program is because my credit score wasn't high enough, and that, you know, she showed me, you know, my credit score. She showed me how all of my student loans essentially were holding me back. And like, I always knew that I needed to get on my student loans, because that's part of the reason why I had to stop my master's program, because the girl was like, hey, you didn't spend too much money. You can't you can't come back until you get that together, girl. So, you know, I've never been stable enough to like stay on top of that stuff. So now that I'm older and it has kicked me in the butt, I'm in the process of digging my way out of student loan debt. And I'm hoping that, without giving y'all too much of my business, I'm hoping that I can claw my way out of some of that debt by January, February, and I can really start making some real steps to increasing my credit score to such a degree to where I will be qualified to work with a lender and start actually for real deal looking at some houses. So that's what I'm working on right now, just trying to get my credit score back up. And then, you know, because like I'm still in communication with the real estate agent. She, you know, checks in on me and makes sure that I'm still, you know, that I'm okay, that I'm still interested and stuff like that. She kind of like, I think I looked up with her, because I feel like it's been like a year and she still checks in on me.
Good.
So I feel like maybe she actually does care. She actually does care about, you know, trying to get me in something and working with me and stuff. So I'm hoping that if everything goes well, and I'm also about to start working with a credit repair service too, because my brother recently got his credit up because he's been working with a credit repair service, and like he pays it like it's a bill, basically. Like, he works with these people and he pays it like it's a bill to make sure that his credit score stays up, and he never has a problem getting anything, hunty. Okay, so like, my brother got it going on. So I'm about to do all that stuff so that I can start looking for a little house. I am getting a house next year, period. Nothing's going to stop me from getting a house next year. It's happening. I'm claiming it right now. So that's why I'm saying it's a journey, because I'm like right on the cusp. I'm right on the cusp of being there, or in a position to where it's going to happen for me. But there was one last thing I was going to say before I handed it over to you. God dang it, I lost it. Oh, because we are teachers, there's like programs that we can apply for that helps us on like a down payment on a house just for being teachers. And so the lender that I was working with, you know, she's a part of that program. And so, you know, whenever I get my life together, I'm going to definitely go back to her and see, you know, what that looks like for me. Because, like I said, I'm getting a house. In a perfect world, like, my lease is up in, like, July. So, in a perfect world, I'm moving out of my apartment and right into a house in July. Boom. I know I didn't do a good job of summing up my life, but I don't really want y'all all in my business like that. But
yeah, that's fair.
You can say with your piece, then we could talk about, our preferences for where we want to live and why.
Okay, so for me, while you were saying that, I went and checked my credit scores real quick. So, I have my Credit Karma account, and then with my bank, we also have, you can check your credit score, and I try to keep up with my credit score. It's not bad. It's like on the cusp of being good.
Yeah.
But like every time I get close to that, like that golden number, something happens and my credit score just dips down.
Ooh, you need to find you a credit repair service then to work with you.
But it's not bad. I don't have any like debt. Like I mean, I have my school debt, but I don't have any like bad debt.
Right.
Or anything. So I was confused. Like the first time it happened, I was like, okay, I did have bad credit card.
Right.
That at the time for what.
I got some stuff on my credit I need to dispute. Like, there's some stuff on my credit that I definitely need to dispute. Like, when I got my credit report, it was something on there about Lane Bryant. Do you know what Lane Bryant is?
They're not even in business anymore, are they?
I don't know, but it's a plus-size clothing. It's a plus-size clothing store. So the fact that that's on my credit, I'm like, how? I've never shopped at Lane Bryant a day in my life. So, like, that's another reason why I want to go talk to that credit repair union, so they could dispute some of this stuff and get the stuff off my stuff, because, like, that don't even sound right.
So, I haven't checked, it's been a couple months since I've checked my credit score. I think I got a PDF on here, but I don't have, like, even when I check it, I don't see anything that,
all my stuff is basically, like, student loan debt. Like, I went through my whole thing. All of it is just, like, student loan. Like, God dang, I got to get this stuff together.
But like even when I think about mine, like my loans aren't in deferment. My loans don't got none of that going on. So that's why I was like now it's going up.
Right.
So right now I'm looking and I've been really good with paying my bills, keeping my credit cards.
Right.
Minimal of paying it off every month. Because that's what I do. I'll rack up some money on it and then I'll pay it off every month. My car payment, I pay that on time. My insurance is on time.
Right.
It's on time. Even though rent doesn't go into your credit score here anyway.
Right.
My student loans, before they allowed us to put them in deferment because thanks COVID on that.
Ooh, blessings.
I was paying that every month on time. I had my automatic payment schedule.
Right.
But right now, what my plan is I'm doing a little bit different. Like, I don't have super bad, like, anything going on. What's my phone vibrating? I don't know. But I planned on starting this year being able to buy a house by the time I'm 30. And so I'm 27 right now, and I was like, when I move, I'm going to go hard, and I'm going to save money.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to save wherever I can. I won't be completely frugal because I don't... I'm trying not to, as I get older, to deprive myself of enjoying life.
Right.
So I try to hang out with my friends. Like, I meant to say this when we were talking about that earlier. Even as a teacher, and I found out that teachers can drink. Listen now, I got some friends, like, every pay Friday, we go to a bar, and we get drunk, and I've had some moments where I was like, oh, I can't drive. Because they were just shot. They were not playing. And so I'm planning on saving like a certain amount.
Yeah, I save money so much better nowadays. Like major key for those of you guys, the young people watching in the chat. Look to see if your bank app has a money transfer scheduler. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah.
Because when I was young, I would always forget to put money up every time I got paid. But I bank with Bank of America. Bank of America has an option in the bank app to where you can schedule so much money to come out of your bank account every time you get paid. Like on a schedule. So it's kind of like you're if you forget, like you're automatically saving money regardless. Like I set it to where like I get paid twice a month. So every time I get paid, money is coming out of my check and is being put into my savings account. And all that money that I'm putting up right now is going to my house. You know, so it's like, if you're young and you have a hard time saving money, do yourself a favor and do that in your bank app. I promise you, you're going to love yourself when you old like me and you actually got some money put up. So major key.
So I'm gonna start saving money. Like, so some of the rules I've heard about from people who buy houses, and I really should ask my mom. My mom bought a house when she was about my age.
Mm-hmm.
Why is owning a house important? Oh, you already answered the question. What's up?
Having your own stuff is important because it's yours and you can pass it down to your kid. Like, and then a lot of people don't realize, like, when people talk about like your like net worth and like worth and like your lifetime wealth, like having property is also a part of that. And I feel like for Black people, it's especially important for us to own some stuff because that stuff means something down the line. So that's why it's important to me. But yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was addressing that comment.
No, you good. I was gonna actually say that my mom, she bought a house around my age, and of course, you know, a house in Mark was cheaper. She got a little house. You know, it's not a big house. She doesn't even live in it anymore. She rented out.
Right. That's a goal for me too. One of these good days.
I should ask her. But one thing I've heard from a lot of people is that when you buy a house, you want to have your house budget or range should be 10% of your salary. Not 10%, but 3 times your salary.
Right.
Your down payment should be at least 10% of whatever the cost is.
Right.
So just me knowing how much I get paid now and how much I can kind of guesstimate how much that'll be in the next 3 years. I'm looking for a house that's about $150,000, and I want to have about $15,000 saved in 3 years, which I think is very achievable.
That's definitely achievable. That's like super achievable. Yeah. And then if you can if you can work with the lender who actually helps people, who actually uses that teacher, what am I trying to say? I don't know what y'all call it in your state, but that teacher program, you might not have to pay a down payment at all.
Yeah. Also, I haven't looked too much in the program. I knew one, but I can't find it. We were talking about it earlier, and I can't find it. I don't know too many programs yet, but of course I'll go look for them. What I did was one of my friends had a Navy Federal Credit Union account, and he hooked me up and gave me a referral. And I really wanted a military credit union account because they have really good interest rates on loans for stuff like cars,
right,
houses, and stuff like that. Like they have very reasonable loans. So I was hoping, I am hoping, and I want to start funneling money into that account. That's going to be my account that I use to save. It's just going to be like an out of sight, out of mind thing. Even though with my current bank, I have a checking and a savings.
Right.
That different account. What was it like that? I'm going to funnel money into that account, but I wanted to use those like interest rates that are really affordable and low, and I want to start, like you said, getting my net worth built, and I want to have property, and I want to be able to say I own something.
Right.
Having a car is nice, but one thing, cars depreciate in value.
Facts.
Basically, as soon as you drive off the lot.
Exactly. And now that I done paid mine off, like it's depreciated significantly. Like my car is paid, but it ain't worth a dang thing. Trying to censor myself.
With property, it can fluctuate, but a lot of times when you get a house, your property value kind of tends to increase. Depends on where you live.
Right.
Really. Like my mom bought her house, it was $50,000 when she brought it. It's worth $100,000 now, and I'll send you a picture of it. It's not like a big house.
Right.
It's a little row home, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
That idea of having property and something you pass on and you pass down, that's your legacy. That's part of what you are. And one thing,
and you could always rent it out when you finish paying it off. You can rent it out to people and still keep getting money. Like that's always been a goal of mine, is to eventually like have property and like rent it out to people.
And I shared this quote. Yeah, that's a goal of mine too. Because while I am going to live in the house, I plan on probably moving because I plan on going back to school at some point, so I probably wouldn't be living in it at that point.
Right.
You know, because I would be going away for school. But I read a post that said when I was buying my house, it blew my mind when my lender asked if my family couldn't just give me the down payment.
I saw that.
Saying that gifts and loans of $50 to $100K weren't uncommon from the family of first-time home buyers. That's the 100-year head start we don't have.
I saw that.
And like I felt that because I'm like, you know, my mom loves me. I know she does. But my mama ain't putting no down payment on my house. And I had a coworker.
My mama couldn't even begin to do that.
And I'm not saying anything bad about my coworker. She's actually great. She taught at my school I'm leaving. And she was like, yeah, I just brought a house this year. She's maybe your age, Nia.
Yeah.
And she was like, she had saved a certain amount of money for her house. And she said she had been saving for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But her family, of course, you know, when you have family who is successful, they teach you those skills like, oh, you need to save money.
See, I come from generational poverty. My family don't know nothing about trying to save no money. Like, my family been living paycheck to paycheck, honey. My mama did the best she could.
Exactly. And she was saying she has been saving since she was little, you know, and she had money where she had enough money where she could have paid for a good chunk of the house off top. But her parents said, you know, whatever you pay for the house, each of them individually matched it.
Right.
Each of them individually matched what she put down for the house. So I forgot how much she said she put down, but just throwing it out, if she paid $20,000 as a down payment, her parents matched $20,000 with her on the house.
What? See, I could never.
Each parent, so she had $60,000 total to put on a down payment.
Oh my God.
Just the down payment.
That's crazy.
And so that's the head start we don't have. And so I think what I'm like, man, this is going to be a first time thing, and I won't be able to do this, but I promise myself that Chase or my other children that I may one day have, they will never
have to deal with that.
They will have something out. Their school will be partially paid for in some way.
Right.
They will have money for when it's time to buy a house. In some way. So this whole home buying thing is kind of new. Is a new thing for me. Is another one of those business things and adulting things. So I'm really looking forward, and I hope this is like a recurring thing we talk about on the podcast. Is like,
oh yeah, because this is definitely a journey. Because I feel like I'm not even there yet. Like I'm still just trying to make the steps to get there. But honey, when January comes and I'm able to really make some ground, hunty, y'all will definitely be hearing about my journey from that point forward. And like, you know, this is a thing that I'm trying to do from between here and hopefully next year. So this is like something that I'm really actively pursuing. But I remember Rome and I were talking earlier today about like not just home ownership itself, but also like where we want to live in relation to the type of kids that we serve.
Oh yeah,
that was a really good conversation that we had. I don't know if we can recreate that conversation because it was like hella deep. But
yeah, you want to start it off? Or?
I guess I could. But okay, so basically, me and Rome were talking about earlier about so I don't know, to those of you guys who didn't watch the first Teachers in Quarantine, we talked about how we teach in a low, like our kids normally come from a low socioeconomic background. So like the district that I work in, like 95% of our students come from poverty. A lot of our students are Black and Hispanic, and yeah, so that's just kind of like that's the reality of my kids. So one thing that me and Rome were talking about earlier was, you know, where we want to live, because we feel like where we live should be at least somewhat adjacent to where our kids live, because we feel like because of the population that we serve, we should be able to understand some things that are going on in our kids' community. So like when I'm looking for a house, if at all possible, I would like to find a house that's close or at least within the same area of where my kids are from, so that I know I feel like it's just another step to understand my kids better. Like, I mean, I already get it because I'm basically them. Like, I come from the projects. Like, I come from poverty. Like, I come from being in a single parent household. Like, I come from all of that, so I get it. But I think that over time, like, when you become an adult, maybe you forget the struggles that you've maybe come from because you are at a point to where you're relatively successful. Like, I'm not like out here making $1 billion, but I consider myself to be a successful person because I'm not supposed to be here. I was born from a black mama who's from generational poverty, lived in the projects. Like, this wasn't supposed to be my life. I was supposed to perpetuate that same cycle, but here I am, you know, doing things for my life to enhance my life so that hopefully if I ever have children, that my children don't have to live in the, and not saying that my mama didn't do her best, because she did her best to make sure that I was able to be in the position that I'm in right now because she knew she didn't have it. But I don't want to be in a situation where I have my kids live in the same type of conditions that I lived in. So I think, especially when you're teaching the type of children that I teach, I'll speak for myself. I don't want to speak for Rome. It's very important that I stay close to the heart of it. You know what I mean? So that was one of the things that me and Rome were talking about, and why that particular thing is important to us. So I'll let you talk about how you feel about that and like what that means to you.
I definitely agree. One thing we were talking about earlier is a lot of disconnect between educators.
Yes.
In the field is that, in the students, that they don't know where their kids came from, or they don't understand like what their kids are going through in their neighborhoods, because they live, you know, you live in a county that's an hour away.
Right.
And it's not saying that you gotta live you don't have to live in the project. We're not saying, oh, I gotta go live in the projects to understand my kids. But I need to be in the city. I need to be able to understand who are my mic's kind of low. Can you hear? Is it a little bit better?
I can hear you. I don't know about the stream.
Doctor said my mic's kind of low. I want to move, but my cat is on my lap now, and I don't want her to run away. Let me see if I can do this without her running away. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me better. But it's the idea of just knowing, like, all right, if I'm in the city that my kids live in, then I have a direct effect on my students because, one, the people who are making the decisions for my kids, I have to know who they are.
Exactly.
So lawmakers and legislators locally.
Exactly.
We're not talking about state and country and national politics. We're talking about just on the local level.
Right.
If you don't live in that city or that county, then you'll never know, you know, who's running for mayor, who's on the council, or who's in their district. And
how their decisions affect your kids directly.
Yep. Then you miss chances on having students, like senior students, be recognized.
Exactly.
Because a lot of times stuff that happens in the schools, like especially with something important, people will come to schools and say stuff.
Right.
You know, and talk. Can I turn it up a bit more? I'll try to move my mic up a bit more, and hopefully that works. You need to see what's going on in your community. You need to see the good and the bad. So you need to see when there are things that are good happening in your community, whether there's support for, you know, your kids, or you need to see when it's bad, like, oh, there's an opioid problem where my kids go to school at, or where I teach at.
Right.
So that affects how my kids live.
Right. Exactly.
The third thing is I feel like it's important to be visible in your community in some ways.
Facts.
Not saying that, like, you know, you got to go out and do, you know, you got to go and like actually go to your kids' houses or anything, or you got to live on the neighborhood where your kids live or right across the street from the school. But there's something to say when you are in the mall and the student sees you. Oh, wow.
You know. Yes.
Miss Pierce is a person. She goes and buys clothes like me, or
Exactly. They don't think you live at the school.
Right. Or Mr. Queen, he likes to wear, distressed jeans or ripped jeans, and he likes to wear t-shirts that has video game stuff on it.
Right.
That's cool because I always see him with a button-up shirt and a tie.
Right.
It got pretty loud all of a sudden. Oops.
That's probably on my fault, because what I did was I added your thing as an audio source. Sorry.
Oh.
So hopefully it's not as loud.
I'll try to move it back.
That's my setting. It's not you.
Okay. So hopefully, they get to see you outside that environment. They get to see you, being yourself, and those things I think go in the school climate. And I get it. Sometimes people like to move districts,
right?
And so they don't like to teach in the same place,
right?
All of a sudden, all the time. So people move out of their district. But I
know people, not to cut you off, but I know people who have been at our school for literally like a decade or more, but they don't listen. Anyway, keep going. I'm not trying to spill no tea. Go ahead, do your thing.
Because I'm about to say at my elementary school, one of my friends teaches there. The principal at that school was the assistant principal when I was in elementary school, and that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And then there are still some teachers that were there when I was a wee kid, when I was a kid. So I get it. But I do think that when you are a teacher and you teach an underserved population, it's good for them to see you in the neighborhood. It's good for you to be actively a part of decision making that affects their lives.
And I think, and I think that's especially important, like you said earlier, because it helps you connect with your kids more. Because if you knew that there, like you said, like there's an opioid crisis in the neighborhood, and that there was like a drug bust or something that happened in some community like the night before, and then you have a child who comes to school the next day and they're like easily agitated or they're sleepy, like you understand a little bit more of what's going on because you're not living in like this gated community where you're sheltered from what's going on, and like you're able to connect and understand. Like that's why I made the comment earlier about, and I don't think people mean it this way when they say it about, calling your kids bad kids, because like one thing that I've learned working in especially where I work, because my school and my district is considered the ghetto school, the problem child school, because because we are literally in the heart of the projects on MOK. So we already have that stigma that our kids are just bad just because of where they come from. So I try to be very careful about that because I understand there are certain implications that come with that. And then I also understand that a lot of our kids are not really allowed to be kids because they understand the circumstances in which they live and that they can't control them. Like they know that their mommy and daddy are having a hard time keeping the lights on, or they know that their mom and their dad, they in jail and they probably not gonna see them for some time, and or maybe they're from a single parent home and their family member who takes care of them is an essential worker and they are in second grade taking care of their brothers and sisters in kindergarten. That happens. Yes. And I don't know if that happens a lot in middle class and wealthy neighborhoods in households. So I think that just understanding that our children literally are not allowed to be children, and they literally have stressors that should affect adults only. And then, when they come to school with that chip on their shoulder, you have to understand where that comes from. And like Rome said, that also comes with being in touch with the community and where your kids live. Like, I'm not saying I gotta go move out in the projects. I lived in the projects a good chunk of my life, but I need to be up to date and abreast on what's going on in my kids' world. Like, cause that's their community is their world. Where as an adult, if we don't like what's going on in our world, we can move. I'm like, look,
Yep.
I'm packing my stuff. I'm moving to the next town over. Our children do not have that. That is their world. That is their ecosystem. That is where they will be challenged and raised and exposed to certain things. So that's my takeaway from that.
Yeah.
But we do have one more topic. We're like 10 minutes away from 2 hours. So
yeah, so we're gonna make this quick.
Right. So
Rapping.
So on top of being teachers, me and Jerome are gamers. I'm sure y'all knew that because y'all follow us.
Yeah.
But so there was recently a gaming thing that happened here recently, the PS5 reveal. So before we talk about the PS5 reveal, I think you guys pretty much understand where I'm at because y'all watch my stream. But I'm gonna let Rome kind of take. Like, first of all, let's kind of do like a what stood out to you. First of all, what stood out to you? Like, are there any games that stood out to you? Is there anything with the hardware that stood out to you?
I'll say this first. So, I'm not as into. I'm trying to find my live tweets from when I was in the tweeting about it. But first of all, I'm not as abreast into the gaming community as I used to be.
Same.
I've slowed down a lot. Like I usually just try to keep up with the stuff I like, and then anything else, I don't keep up in the whole console world like I used to.
Same.
One thing I will say is I do not like the PlayStation 5 as the aesthetic of the console.
I hate asymmetry, bro. Like the one with the disc drive is killing me because it's not symmetrical, and I don't know why I'm like that, but I don't like asymmetry.
Yeah. I'm not a fan
That's
of that
really the
console.
only thing that kills me though. With that,
I like sharp edges. I like either things that are smooth and rounded, or I like that they are sharp edges, like box. Like that's why even if the Series X is not the most appealing console because it just looks like a mini fridge, that's still an aesthetic that's like okay.
That's acceptable.
If I sit it on my desk, I mean not my desk, but I sit it on my entertainment system, it's okay.
It looks like a PC tower. Like it's just like a basic PC tower.
Yeah, but the PlayStation 5, the whole aesthetic of it is ugly to me. However, I can't find my tweets, and I tweeted throughout the whole thing. I didn't like tweet a lot of stuff, but I tweeted a little bit.
Yeah.
I was impressed by. Dang. Oh, here it is. Boom. I was impressed by the diversity of Sony's repertoire for this.
I agree.
I really did enjoy that. I at this point you kind of know like PlayStation is not just a indie thing, but I really liked. I was excited for the Spider-Man 2. Like I told Nia, I don't have a PlayStation 4, so I'll save that for the end.
Right.
But I don't have a PlayStation 4, so I have PlayStation Now. And I'm starting to play Spider-Man on PlayStation Now. And so the Miles Morales Spider-Man was lit to me because me and Chase, one of our bonding moments we had last year was watch Into the Spider-Verse together.
Oh, that was such a good movie.
It was such a good movie, and I was so stoked, like, Chase could see a Spider-Man. It looks like him,
right?
A black Spider-Man. Now that they put him into the video games, I thought that was really great. I'll skip around. Ratchet and Clank that Rift Apart.
I'm
trying to find the joke. Usually with Ratchet and Clank, there's a butt joke in there somewhere. Usually they have a butt joke in the title.
Yes.
So like. They had Up Your Arsenal, Up Your Arse, and then they had like, all of them have like some kind of butt joke. I can't find the one in Rift Apart yet.
I don't think that one does. I think Up Your Arsenal is the only one because there was the other ones. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up because I play Ratchet and Clank a lot and I never noticed it. Maybe I'm just so like I'm clueless.
Yeah, hold on. I'll go back to Quest for Booty.
Yes, I remember that one. Yes.
Going commando, like being naked.
You know what? You're right. How come I never noticed this? Oh my god! Yeah, and I'm such a big Ratchet and Clank fan. I am so.
I think
Wow.
the only one that didn't was like Deadlocked, I guess.
Right. You're right.
And then,
You're right.
Tools of Destruction, Into the Nexus, but the other ones kind of they had that in there.
You're so right. How come I never noticed this? Oh my god, I never noticed.
What else?
I never noticed. I'm trash.
That appealed to me. I'm going back to my tweets. They had that stray cat game, and listen, y'all see the shirt, Cat Dad AF, and I was like,
really? You're into that?
Listen, you hear me? Okay.
Listen, man, that's your thing. I ain't hating.
I really liked what's that game? We were just talking about it.
That Kena is like a
Kena Bridge of Spirits.
Yeah.
That game kind of was one of the ones I was most like stoked about. Ghostwire looked really good to me, and I'm just
which one
kind
was
of
Ghostwire? I'm trying to remember.
Ghostwire Tokyo.
The one with the dude and the little girl. Is that the one?
No, this was the. I can't. I'm not good at describing it because I wrote like really small things about these. I didn't really describe them really.
I'm gonna have to go back and look at the. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the trailers.
I think Kena was the game when I first saw it. I was still psyched about it, but I was like, I think that they had the two black devs on there.
Yes, that was them. They're the one who made the Kena. That's honestly what made me interested in Kena. I'm like, oh, we gotta support them.
I was interested because I was like, yeah,
it looks like a good game too, though.
But then I was like, the very next second, I was upset because I was like, what happened to the black character? That was a moment.
Right. That's what I was curious about. I wonder what was the decision behind not making the character black.
Yeah. Deathloop, of course.
Of course.
As soon as I saw it.
I was interested in Deathloop when they showed it last year because I was like, yo, 2 black protagonists? Come on. Yes. Stop it.
And then, of course, the Demon's Souls remake. I've never really been a big fan
But that remake looks...
like watching people play them.
Right. But it looks fire, right?
Yeah, it does look really good. And that's all I can really remember from just going through my live tweets. I was telling Nia that I hadn't owned a PlayStation console, so I'm probably going to be a day one buyer of the PlayStation 5 just because I didn't have a PlayStation 4, and it's, I purposely held off on buying a 4 because of that.
Right.
So, and I think Nia reminded me like, okay, a lot of these games look nice, but there are also some that are multi-platform in that bunch that they showed, or that are going to be cross-platform,
right?
PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. So,
but if you don't already have a PS4, I mean,
yeah, for that I'm a little wary about. So I'm like, let me really pay attention because I don't go around hunting for information like I used to. I go around like, all right. Well, Kena, how many consoles is it going to be on? Like, I'm not purposely, I'm not going to look at it immediately anymore. I'm kind of just like, oh, that looked nice. They showed it on PlayStation, so it must be on PlayStation. And then you find out.
Right.
It's really on Steam, PS4, PS5, and Xbox, and, whatever.
Yeah.
So, I know as we get closer to the PS5 launch, hopefully they have a black one. Hopefully.
I think a black one would look better. I think it's really the white that's really making it like, ooh.
Yeah. I'm hoping they have a black one. Not black and red, but black and blue.
Yeah.
So, but I'm probably going to get a day one and I'll add it to my collection.
Yeah.
For sure. But I was overall excited. Oh, that one thing that blew me. When they showed Grand Theft Auto 5 at the very beginning, and I was like, oh, GTA 6 that was rumored? No, Grand Theft Auto 5 for the umpteenth time.
What? You thought Rockstar was gonna bring out a new Grand Theft Auto game? Come on, stop it.
Hey, so I used to work for. I'll quote this as a very popular video game company. I used to do tech support. You know more about it.
I know you. I know.
Grand Theft Auto 5 was a very popular title that people would talk about. So I'm very familiar with the title. But I was like. And so to say that is that the big thing is I know Grand Theft Auto 5 is probably like the highest grossing video game of all time.
That's why they're not making another one anytime soon because that game is still racking in so much money.
the sheer amount of money Rockstar makes off of Grand Theft Auto 5.
Crazy.
And it's not off the game. It's off shark cards. It's off shark
exactly.
cards. Is what literally.
Exactly.
So people, Grand Theft Auto would go on sale for $30, and they'd be like, if you buy the game, you get the highest level shark card they have.
Exactly.
And the highest level shark card they have usually costs $60. So people will buy the game over and over and over just for the shark cards.
Exactly.
Because it's $30.
Exactly.
And with the company I used to work for, we used to call them whales. That's what they are. They're whales.
They buy
would buy.
Yeah.
They would buy, and like, we got to a point where like, if you could see that they purchased a certain amount of shark cards, that we would kind of grant them some lenience with issues they would be having, because if they were calling about Grand Theft Auto, and they were calling, you know, about like something that went wrong with a purchase or something, it would be like, they would be like, all right, they've spent hundreds of dollars, they spent thousands of dollars, give them whatever, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, so, but I was upset because I'm like, okay, we had it on PS3, we had it on PS4 and PC, or, you know, we had it on, I guess, at 7th gen, we had it on 8th gen, and now we're entering 9th gen, and you're still doing this. Like, how much more of a remaster can you get, you know, at this point?
Right.
And
they didn't try to miss out on that money, man.
I thought Red Dead Redemption 2 was going to be that new cash cow. I thought they would milk that one. But I guess Red Dead isn't kind of taking off like Grand Theft Auto.
It really hasn't. Yeah, they finna milk. I don't know why people are surprised. Like, when they show, like, I mean, I did kind of question, like, okay, are they about to show new Grand Theft Auto? But then when they revealed that they were just bringing Grand Theft Auto 5 over again, I was like, you know what? Now that I think about it, it's really not that surprising. Because think about how much money they actually spend, they're actually making on that game.
Frodo72, he said, this may be off topic, but any thoughts on the last Chappelle talk? You talking about his special that he put on YouTube? I haven't seen it yet. I've been meaning to go see it. So I'll go watch it, and I think we can put that in our next podcast.
Yeah, maybe we can do it next. But I did see it though. I thought it was good.
Oh, you did see it?
I did see it, but since you didn't see it, we ain't gotta talk about it.
8:46. Let me see. Okay, so it's not that long. It doesn't seem. Is it? How long is it?
It's like 20 minutes or something like that.
Okay, so yeah, I think this one is Netflix is a joke. Is that the one?
Mm-hmm.
That must be Chappelle being a freaking butthole. So okay, I'll watch it. Even if you want to do something like off like the record for this, and we can talk about it since it seemed like people are interested. Oh man! Oh crap! We gotta wrap this up because something is happening that I was supposed to be watching. I didn't realize it was happening.
Oh shoot! All right,
okay, so let's
wrap it up. All right, so my quick thoughts about the PS5. So I really thought that the reveal, I thought it was a good show. As far as like the show itself, I felt like the show was really strong with the type of content that they showed. Like, I thought they showed a good variety of games, like a different genres of games that would appeal to a wide variety of people. As for me, I feel like the standout of the whole show was Ratchet and Clank. I felt like Ratchet and Clank was like the only game that I could be like, oh, this is next gen. You know, everything else kind of felt cross gen or stuff that could happen on the PS4 or at least the PS4 Pro. So I wasn't really blown away by the hardware, but maybe gaming on PC for the last couple of years has made me a little jaded about consoles. I don't know. But I really do feel like Ratchet and Clank was the standout especially when you take into account the things that game is doing. The fact that you can dip in and out of like entire game worlds like without loading, like I feel like that's something that the PS4 definitely cannot do. But yeah, so I know somebody asked me in the chat, am I getting a PS4 day one? The answer is no. I don't really feel like I need to rush out and get a PS4 day one. But I do feel like, especially since there's a new Ratchet and Clank and I'm like all about Ratchet and Clank, I'm definitely going to get the PS5 at some point. So those are my quick thoughts since we are out of time.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut it short, but
no, it's okay.
It was another podcast that I was watching as a music-based one. that I was watching or that I like to watch, and one of my music mentors is on there, and I didn't realize that he would be there.
Oh snap! Well, we've reached the 2-hour mark anyway, so it's time to go anyways.
Yeah, so we'll bring this back up in like 2 weeks. What's up, Pedro? Keep Pedro hollered.
Shout outs to Pedro. That's the homie, fellow Texan in his house.
So definitely, as always, I like doing this, so I'm always down to do it.
I definitely think I definitely like this podcast. I like the variety of our topics. But anyways, you guys, thank you guys for watching another episode of Teachers in Quarantine. You guys make sure that you give us some feedback on how you guys feel about the show. I know that a lot of you guys who watch my channel in particular are gamers. You're not teachers. So, give me some feedback. Let me know, how y'all feel about it. Is it informative? Is it interesting? What are some things y'all would like to see us throw in, if you feel like, there's some, like, real life. Because, like, this is kind of like my adult podcast.
Yeah, let us know what you want to hear. Like, we're is a teacher podcast, but we talk about other things. Like, there's a bunch of stuff we can talk about that's related to teaching and not related to teaching.
Exactly,
for sure. That we can put in. So if you guys want to hear our opinions on something, on other things, like, and we're not necessarily. Well, I know for me, I'm not necessarily like a person that's like ratchet and like trying to be ignorant and make people laugh that way, but I think definitely an appeal from what we do is kind of with our kind of like dry teacher humor, which I think is actually pretty funny.
Dry teacher humor,
because it is dry, but
I love it.
Let's see, it is dry, but at the same time, it's like, is what we do,
right?
Let's see. I'm just checking to see how many people are on the various platforms watching.
There's 17 people watching us across 5 platforms right now.
Oh, so you can see all that.
It got up to like 20 something. But people dip in and out when they hear what they want to hear and then they bounce.
Yeah.
But y'all, thank you again for coming through. Anything you want to say before we get up out of here, Rome?
Follow me on Twitter, Bald and Bougie. I know there's no I in that. Instagram ran out of characters, so
somebody really did call you out about that.
Huh?
Somebody really called you out about that last week. Like, how you gonna spell bougie wrong? Do you have to explain it? Wow.
Yeah, because Instagram ran out of characters. So when I try to keep my name the same across Instagram and Twitter, because I like to have the same name. I just like to have the same name. So when I decided to change it, I try to keep the same name. And when I first did it, Instagram couldn't do bougie, like GIE. Yeah. Because that was already taken. And then I couldn't do... No, it wasn't that it was taken. It was that it didn't fit. So I was like, all right, if I do JE, that might make sense.
Bougie. Either way, we know you bougie, especially when you go to Scotch tastings.
Hey... I forgot to mention, with the Scotch tasting, I also had a cigar for the first time, which I won't do again.
That's some grown people stuff.
It's interesting because you're not supposed to inhale cigar when you smoke them.
Yeah.
Because they were telling us, they're like, oh yeah, y'all young, y'all ain't smoked cigars, so this is how it's supposed to be. So it was a very sophisticated thing to smoke.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it like all the time, like you won't see me collecting cigars and smoking them, but it was interesting to like have that experience, like, oh, you
so this is what a cigar tastes like.
Yeah. But
I love it. I need to give me some grown.
Showed up.
Shout outs to Crunk. That's my homegirl. That's my baby. That's my boo. Hey, Crunk girl. She said that hair though. Yes, queen.
Well, yeah. Follow me on Twitter. I tweet sometimes. Most of the time I retweet, but I tweet sometimes. And I gotta lock my Facebook up. I mean, my Instagram and my Twitter up now because my new students are finding me on social media.
Oh my God. I'm so glad I teach kindergarten for that reason. I am so glad I teach kindergarten so that I don't have to worry about my kids. Because let me tell y'all something. I have a completely different, separate gaming page on Facebook for a reason. Because, I like to talk about grown people things. And I can't talk about that with my principals on my personal page.
Yeah.
I can't talk about what I want to talk about with my principal is on my personal page. So that's why I have a whole other page just for gaming and crap posting. So,
so yeah, I just do that on Twitter.
I feel it. But so I'm the video game her. I am so thankful that I'm actually really happy that those of you guys who normally mostly watch me for gaming have actually embraced Teachers in Quarantine, because that was definitely one of the things that I was concerned about when bringing this podcast to you guys, is that people wouldn't embrace it. But y'all actually watching this as much as y'all watch my regular content. Like I said, we had up to 20-something people in here earlier today, and we're talking about teacher stuff. Like, so that lets me know that y'all rocking with me regardless of the topics, and I love y'all for that. But we're going to get up out of here. We're going to try to do Teachers in Quarantine every other week. So be looking forward to the next episode of Teachers in Quarantine. Make sure you hit us up on Twitter or wherever you follow us on social media, and let us know how we can make the podcast more interesting to those of you guys who aren't particularly interested in the teaching part, even though that's still going to be a lot of our podcast. We're not going to get rid of it, but if there's some things y'all want us to talk about, this is a podcast about teaching and lifestyle, everything. So let us know. Thank you guys for watching again, and we will see y'all on the flip side later.
Peace.
Later.